Sorry.
Awesome. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. While I get in touch with Lauren, the Cultivate Your Brand open. So applications are open. I did touch base with Janine yesterday. She said that there's only been two applications so far. So maybe if we want to spread the word, and then don't forget that we all have to apply as well. So I'm sure that is like we're all kind of waiting until the last minute. Um, but I think, yeah, if we want to spread the word, I don't know. Just wanted to put that out there that she only has two applications so far. So um I just think it's going to be really valuable. So if you guys do know anybody, or Jess, like I know you said that you didn't want to take a spot, but if we don't have a full class, I think you're probably more than welcome to come through.
Yeah, that'd be
Because
great.
we decided to pay her the full amount, right? Like for all 10
Yeah.
spots, whether or not they
Right.
filled. So, and then is Val on here?
I'm here.
Hey Val, I saw in your
Hi.
group text that you had mentioned not wanting to use these funds and that you wanted to use your continuing ed fund for the
Oh,
Janine
yeah,
workshop.
we I already talked about that.
Oh, okay.
So that's been clarified, and I don't have a problem. That was just an inquiry and trying to see if we could expand the opportunity. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I figured as much. I just wanted to clarify that also a lot of those are the same pool of money. Um, but yeah, we have already paid for 10 spots. So if you are interested, just go ahead and apply.
yeah, I am.
Awesome. Anything else that we want to talk about with Cultivate Your Brand?
I would just add that it never hurts to pick up the phone. So like if you want to just think of other people you know in the network and call them and say like, "Hey, we have this program. It's free if you sign up and you're doing food system work." So like even looking at some of our past mini grant winners and
Mhm.
just to because I think to consider this successful, you guys should try to get the program full. Having 10
Yeah.
people
Right.
would be like a big win. So I would say like, just call
Yeah.
around, see if people are interested. They might not know that, it's out there, or they missed the email, or they don't know it's for them, or they're not sure. Like, doesn't hurt. Always just pick up the phone and call people and see if
Yeah.
they can commit to
I
it.
love that. I will say the two other applicants are not in on this meeting. So that's exciting that I guess just that none of the current applications are us.
Mhm.
And yeah, I agree. And also just like um it sounds, again, I'm not one of the people that attended the thing in the fall, but it just sounds like it's going to be really valuable from everyone's feedback
Yeah.
that I've heard. So um that's also the other thing is like, yeah, one, we want it to be a success. We want to see the things that we've worked towards. um Lauren is driving, but she's going to join digitally. And yeah, we want to see all of those successes, but also for organizations that you care about, right? This is really great for them. Sorry, go ahead, Jess.
Oh, sorry. I just did that because I'm looking at the other stuff. Do we have access to the flyer itself with the application link? Is that on Google Drive?
I think so. Let me look really quickly just because I have that like open.
Because I was looking, I know it's, it's not on Facebook and it's not on Instagram. I think those would be great places.
I think she also did a different application because when I opened up the application we made to see applicants, there was nothing there. So I think she
Mm,
did a different one.
okay.
Um no, I don't see the flyer, but we can reach out to her
Yeah,
and
yeah, because I'd love to
get
have
that from
access
her.
to that flyer.
She may have emailed it. Maybe it's just not on the drive.
Okay.
And
And
I
I think
think
it's
she did.
posted on the platform too, so you should be able to like download it from there, I think.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
Cool, cool.
On the,
Um,
yeah, I'm on the platform and I see I can like save the image. But then
okay, so
when,
she did email it over, and I can. I can forward this out to you guys and upload it into the drive.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I didn't realize that's just how that went. Jessica, sorry, really quick, what's your email?
JLVINSON2 @gmail.
And that's why I'll put it in the drive too in case it gets like lost.
Perfect.
So, and then I don't think I have Lauren's email, but I'll put it in the drive and just let her know it's on there. Dee received it already. And I'll send it to
And Lauren
Elias as
just
well.
hopped on the call too. Hi, Lauren.
Awesome. And right.
Got it.
Cool. So I have I think I never could find the notes that we were talking about in the last meeting. But I did find where I think we narrowed down to 3 different things, and I was going to put that into the chat. So here is this document that we've shared a couple times with the other options that I pulled out from the summit and I think our conversation in March or April.
And that's the potential use of funds, correct? Yeah.
And that comes from there's like a goals
Yeah.
brainstorming. I think that somebody, I think Josh, you had put it in last time, and this is all kind of built from those conversations, from the notes in our meetings, those things.
Yep.
Alrighty, so option 1 is regenerative farm steward cohort.
That'll take too long.
I think so, and I think it's a little bit tough with like Savannah, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have paid interns potentially, right? Like, so I know like SLP has applied for that. I know it's not food production specific, but like we, that's some of what we're going to be doing. And so and you said that you don't have I'm sorry, is it that there's not enough participating organizations or not enough interns yet?
Um, we haven't reached our cap for intern sites.
Gotcha.
We haven't gotten applications from students yet. It's a little bit early.
Got
Probably do
it.
that
Okay, okay,
next
okay.
month. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so
You're good.
that's also what I was thinking about was just those complications and things like that, and that it was potentially like repetitive but not necessarily, right? um the next thing is aquaponics and solar battery, plus resilient production and training. So I, of course, am biased towards this one. I really like the idea of us getting solar batteries. And one thing that I've been looking at is that instead of replacing the inverter, the charge controller, and batteries, which I know this is like a different language, there are kits now that include all of those things with greater capacity than we could actually buy with the same amount of money buying just like batteries. And they're all made to work together. I have been speaking with a few people in the solar industry in Tampa, not necessarily about like these, but just in general for getting all of those things. So finding like labor to help install it as well. Just as, I don't know. So it would be also a little bit in conjunction. The remaining budget amount is I have around 9,000.
Wow.
So this would not even take all of it either. So
Right.
there's still something else. I think the bigger issue is the time. So let's talk really quickly about the last one, which was a wash and pack post harvest training hub and base. That would be the last one. And then I guess if we want to get more into those different choices, or conversation, we can start to do that. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to start off the discussion with?
Sorry, y'all. I really didn't realize I was not on mute while I was driving, so I'm sorry if y'all been hearing all that background
Yeah.
noise.
It's been
Sorry about
quiet. You're good. Didn't hear a
that.
thing.
Okay.
I was actually
Yeah.
wondering if your microphone wasn't working because we couldn't hear anything. I was like, I
Right.
hope that she's not trying to talk.
Yeah. I thought you were saying the opposite, that
No,
you'd been talking and we weren't hearing you.
Yeah.
no. Like what was brought up yesterday, I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before yesterday, it's a blur, but with regards to either pooling the money, the leftover money with another group, what I would like to see is a specific mini grant. I know I didn't put this in the chat, but a specific mini grant for capacity building for organizations within the network. So if we're able to, Savannah, if we're able to have a mini grant that's specific to capacity building,
Yeah.
And
I
what
mean,
do
I don't
you
know if we
mean
can.
I
by
think that's just
capacity
more,
building?
sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean by capacity building?
Um, for example, there's organizations out here that need help with websites or anything to help their organization get to the point where they can be self-sufficient or be a little bit more sustainable, be out there, whatever it may be. Each organization's needs are a little bit different.
Yeah.
So being
That
able to
just sounds like
have
economic development is the only part. Like,
so
I agree with you.
that's why I
There,
started with pooling it with them, so that way we have pooling with the other groups, and then the mini grant be specific for capacity building. If we're pooling with the other grants for the money, so that way we're able to make a larger impact rather than just for $2,500 mini grants.
yeah. I think the hard part with that is starting over, but I'm happy to hear everyone else's like thoughts on it. It just feels like we're going right back to the drawing board, and we are, what is today's the 12th, so we're you know,
Well,
18 days
but
out
with
from having
but
a
with
final
this
budget.
But with this, Georgia, there's not a lot of legwork in this. There's not a lot of legwork in getting with the other groups to see what's left in their budget and if they're interested in pooling together to create a program opportunity like capacity building for organizations that need it. That's not a lot of
Okay.
legwork.
Have you touched base with the other groups? I talked to Nicole yesterday, and her answer was that that was something that we needed to discuss with the homegrown staff. Jess, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I just worry, like the mini grants or that pulling it is a great idea for sure. But then I just worry that we're spending already spending our money on kind of like a marketing, um,
Capacity building
capacity
aspect.
building thing, and then we're not really focusing on anything to do with food production in its like
Well,
its
but
pure
but that's
sense.
the thing, you guys. I just gave you marketing as I gave you website as an example, but any organization could need something different. So, for example, they could need an intern or an apprentice or something of that sort. They could need raised beds, soil. We don't know what each organization's capacity needs are. So that's why I just use the example of a website. So it'll be
Yeah,
up to
I
the
see. I see
organization
what
to
you're
see what
saying.
they
That just
want.
is more of economic development as far as capacity building as an economic development aspect. And I feel like we identified a few different things that producers would need to produce more. So like a wash and pack and post-harvest training to go with potentially like aggregated refrigeration, or a large aquaponics system that would also allow for all kinds of
Yeah, but
aspects.
where
So
where are these things being held? So these particular items, the large aquaponics system, where would that be housed? Where's that going to be housed? For the wash and pack, where is that going to be housed?
the wash and pack, I don't think we've ever discussed a location for it. The aquaponics system is the SLP aquaponics system. Um, and and then the farm steward cohort was spread out. But with the aquaponics system at SLP, what I had written in the potential use of funds was that it would support other growers by allowing us to have more seedlings available for them to plant, by allowing us to have fertilizer. So we get 5 to 10 gallons per day of basically fish emulsion. And as we're looking at nitrogen becoming an issue with the current global politics that are happening, that is a great source of nitrogen that we would have for the community. And we can't use that much on our space alone, as well as it's great for propagating and things like that. I see what you're saying. I do think that like there are other things. I think that's why we've been trying to also like get this into the meetings, so it wasn't that we had 18 days to be kind of starting from the beginning. I did touch base with Nicole about how we could partner with economic development, and I just didn't get a huge answer from her. I reached out to her because she was the one that had said a similar thing to me in the week or two beforehand. But when I reached out yesterday, she was like, "Oh, I don't know. That's something that we would have to talk to everybody about." And so I think like it's not that it's a bad idea. I just think it's hard with our press for time.
So economic development has a meeting tomorrow, just so everyone, just so you know, if anybody wants to go and pitch this. I will say, as far as mini grants go, or if you wanted to pitch it as a grant, I mean, if you guys don't reserve the money for something, that's what we're going to do anyway. So whether or not it's specific to food production is kind of if I, I'm not 100% positive that you guys could do a grant as your thing. I would think so, but I don't want to like say 100% like yes, you can do that because I'm not entirely sure. But I do think that's a good idea, just as a way to. We just need you to either bookmark the funds or say that we can use them um, for a more open mini grant. So that's that deadline of the end of the month is either say you're going to use it or you're not going to use it, and we'll figure out something to do with it.
Okay. I didn't think that was clear from the last meeting. It sounded like we needed to have pretty itemized budgets turned in for approval on June 30th from just like the way the last meeting was going.
Yeah, so it doesn't need to
Um,
be like a budget. That's what like we need a
okay.
budget, but you need to tell us what you're going to spend it on. So like if you say you're going to spend it on a mini grant, then like that's it. But like I'm not sure if that is like something we can do. I can talk to Monica for sure, like pretty quickly, to see
Yeah.
if that's something we can do. Because that's what, like I said, that's what we were going to do. If you don't have the money like earmarked for something in your budget, like whatever's left, we were going to do as mini grants. But if there's nothing left, then there's no mini grants. So does that clarify a
Okay.
little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely does, and that I think that's where
Okay.
I was going with it. I wanted to say that maybe we should not use it and make it available for mini grants, but I would love to see like a specific type of mini
Gotcha.
grant just based on the need. So not saying that food production would be the ones, asking for a capacity building grant, but the money being available so that way we can pool it to be able to utilize it for capacity building mini grants.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to go back to the SLP aquaponics idea. How far or how difficult would that be to wrap up with a budget? I think you would probably not have that much of a difficult time
No.
considering your background and
Yeah, and we've been working on it for years. So I think by August it could be finished. Just depending on shipping and getting like a
no.
contractor for installation. Um, or yeah, I mean, it's something that I always plan on installing myself, but we're just doing so much more now. It would be great to have somebody install it, and also that would move it along really quickly.
So
Um,
can you break that up into like two phases? Because you were speaking about the solar system.
mhm.
Is that what you're talking about all at the same time, the installation of the solar system?
So yeah, so the aquaponics is the greenhouse is fine. It is where it is. We could use fans to grow through the summer, but again, we're about to have a whole year to work on that. What we need are batteries in order to run the pumps. So the fish can't live without water circulating.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
so that's where we need batteries to run the pumps, but we also need batteries to accommodate the Coolbot trailer that economic development is doing, which is why I said it would be like in conjunction with them.
mm,
Just because
Mhm.
that had been brought up as an option. And so yeah, I think, it's also one of the few things I think on the table that is food production based. Um, so I just want to make sure that we like, I guess, are understanding our and the Coolbot is an aggregated program. So it's not just SLP is using the Coolbot. Um, that is something that Dee would have access to, Nick has access to, and that's written in an MOU. That's already been written up with economic development. So that's I guess I don't know. I just feel like I've been trying to get this on the table for discussion for a while. And like I said, I also had the understanding that we had to have an itemized budget, which was like the words that were used in the last meeting
right.
for June 30th. And so and I guess the complaints were that we weren't moving forward on all of these things. And so yeah, I just was bringing up the things that, like I said, I've been pulling from our discussions, things along those lines. I do know that like it's a little bit biased because it is at my organization's property. I feel like I've also opened the floor up multiple times for other proposals to come to the table, both written and verbally at the meeting. So I don't, if we don't do
But
it, that's okay. I just want
I,
to, we're here to discuss what to do with these funds.
I just want to ask if we go that route, I think the plus side of that, it's not that it's SLP, it's that the results that will enhance the entire community and food system. So that if we go the aquaponics route, right, then we do have that fertilizer option when fertilizers will not be available, and in addition to that, it's you have a quality assurance in that product.
Mm,
Also, are you going to be able to provide that pretty much at such a low cost that it's going to be beneficial for everyone? I think if you kind of focus
I
on
think
that.
that can be, yeah, so that could be also written into the MOU, something along those
Mhm.
lines.
uh-huh.
Because remember, we can also form an MOU with these agreements. It's not just like a carte blanche. And so, touching on what you were saying, Val, I did want to go over the key benefits that are on the document for this particular option, because I think this is where we're going to have the most discussion. Is it increases local food production capacity. So we're talking hundreds of heads of lettuce per month available for growing. It's a 5,000 gallon system. And then now that we are going to the St. Pete market, we have built our own market. We are really seeing a demand there, as well as for the food access group, providing the veggie bags in Sulphur Springs. The number one thing that people asked for were salad items.
Mm,
So this would allow us to have essentially affordable lettuce. Aquaponic grown lettuce is much more financially efficient to grow once the initial investment is made than in the ground, or I guess maybe hydroponic is also an option. This also creates a replicable model for urban growers because it does not necessarily require power, but it can be used with grid power, or it can be disaster resilient with the solar power. So something that we did, I know during Irma, is that everybody lost power for a few weeks and our fish would have died, but because we had solar power, we were able to just kind of continue as normal. Uh, the greenhouse also establishes a seeding hub to support local producers, and it provides the fish-based nutrients, or fish emulsion, which is a very nitrogen-rich additive. And I did not even imagine that we were going to have these nitrogen shortages. I more so just was looking at that as something that every Florida grower has to increase is nitrogen, and most farmers have to. And then of course it supports education and innovation. So it shows both current growers, new growers, students, a different growing method available in Tampa on a commercial scale. So because we do the field trips, we host classes and things like that, and that can also be in the MOU, is that you guys would like to see us host 3 classes on aquaponics or something like that. Um, does that,
Yeah,
I
because
don't know,
that will show that it's not just SLP benefiting. It will show that the entire system would be available and to the benefit of the producers.
yeah, and
Where
and that's, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Dal.
where I think initially, if you're just looking at something, it's like, okay, but
Right.
how is that affecting the entire community? So if you worked something into that, then I think it would be a good idea, just
I
personally.
do too. I do too. I love it.
I mean, I tried to work it
It's
in
just
those key benefits, to show that it wasn't. I think I'm just also very self-conscious because I'm asking something that directly benefits me. And so I think I
Right.
tend to,
Right. And we
yeah.
and you're right to be cautious because we also have to be aware of the outside eyes looking
Mhm.
in. And those outside eyes might not be present today or next year, but 3 years down the road, we don't want to have to deal with issues. We want to have all that settled and set up so that if somebody from outside eyes wants to question it, you just say, here it is.
So yeah, as a co-chair, that's part of why I have tried really hard to make sure that I've left the floor open many, many times for other proposals to come through. And for those discussions, I've wanted to be very
Yeah.
transparent in
So,
doing that.
so do you
Just,
think, I'm sorry.
oh,
So do
go
you
ahead.
think you could get that budget proposal done by the 30th, just so that it's on paper and submitted?
Yeah, it's
Which
already
is the
partially there, but yes, I can
exactly.
itemize it
You
and detail it more.
right.
Jess had her, sorry, go ahead.
You're just wrapping up the loose ends on it because actually it's been on your mind and you've probably been working on it for several years already knowing what the process is. So I would
Yeah.
say I would vote yes for that, as long as you can show that there is a benefit for the entire community in reference to food production. And
Mm.
that would include something that maybe someone who wouldn't be able to afford it normally, how that benefits them economically as well, because economic plays into everything we do.
Yeah.
So I think that's in that lettuce production that I was talking about.
Right.
Um, it is just much more time and input efficient to grow the lettuce in
Yeah,
in the aquaponic system
of course.
than in the ground. And so that's kind of what I was touching on. But I am gonna pause because Jess has had her hand raised for a while, and I want to just make sure that I that we get to it.
Yeah. I think Val's asking some excellent questions. And I think especially with the optics, like why would we give, this 3K to Georgia at SLP? What about other farms? I could see how that would be an issue. But Val is totally pointing at all of the things that you've already considered. I know you and I have talked about this outside of, even the consideration of getting money from Homegrown to do it.
Yeah.
Um, I think something to also think about, let me see. When you said that you talked to Nicole yesterday as part of the I don't know what economic development is doing, but are they putting you said a cooler at SLP? Is that what's happening?
So we're doing aggregated cold storage.
Okay.
And so this has been some of one, a source of frustration for me, but also I think confusion for a lot of us. Is that there was originally a discussion of aggregated cold storage being at SLP through food production, and then something has, I don't know. And then And then economic development decided they would really like to do that. So we
Okay.
said, okay, great, sounds good. So they started working on cold storage, aggregated cold storage. And what they decided to do is an enclosed trailer with
Mhm.
a coolbot unit, which is the uh what is it, a air conditioning unit, and it's a piece of tech that sort of overrides. And then that is a shared but structurally shared um infrastructure amongst, right now, the people listed are Artistry Gardens and A13 Hood Garden.
Is it mobile?
And I'm sorry.
Is it mobile? Can you move it?
Yeah, so it would be mobile, exactly.
Okay.
And I did talk to her yesterday, and I was like, if the mobile is hard, that's not something that I think we suggested. That was something that they were interested in. Um, but so, what I told her was, I was like, we just really, really need refrigeration.
Hmm.
Um, because we are at a point where we can produce lots of food. And we already are doing it. It's just that we are running ourselves ragged, trying to
Mhm.
either pull tons of ice packs to and from my house in
Right.
my freezer,
Yeah.
or I have bought a whole refrigerator with my personal money at my house that we are storing produce in. And again, it's just going back and forth to my house all the time,
So
with the
I
produce, the ice packs, things like that. And so, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I just don't want someone to say, well, SLP's already getting the cold aggregation, right? And then I
Yeah.
don't want them to get, the aquaponics
Yeah.
batteries too. That's my concern.
And that's totally fine. It's a big part of why I have been trying to push for us to have other discussions.
You have.
Um, and yeah, that is exactly it. Is because I
Yep.
felt like we were going to end up in exactly the situation where
Yep.
we were coming down to a deadline and not a lot of other proposals were there. I even reached out via text and asked for anybody to send written proposals, so that they could be reviewed, and we could have questions ready to go, so that this was a very efficient discussion
Mm,
today,
mm,
because we do not have a lot of time. It's already 11:10.
right.
We end at 11:25 for the sort of survey.
Yeah.
And I just think that it would be a shame for us to allow these funds to just go back into and not use, the advocacy power that we have right now. So,
I agree.
like I said, I obviously, yes, I want this, but I just want the funds to make sense for food production.
Me too.
Um,
Yeah.
and so that's where I also am the one that wrote that entire document, though, of alternative funds that had 3 or 4 other options on there
Hmm.
that were not SLP based.
Yep.
Um, because of everything that we were talking about, because I am very conscious of being a co-chair, already getting funding, things like that. I and like I said, I am also sort of at a point of like frustration and confusion, because nobody else is bringing up anything
Yep. Right.
that makes sense with a budget, with the aspects that are written
Absolutely.
in these other proposals, and we're running out of time. So um
My
I
my that
I
my whole
yeah, I
point is
don't
I support this. I support the
Mhm.
aquaponics and batteries because the budget is already there. You have everything set up. All you have to do is submit it and we're done.
And it's
yeah.
this easy.
And yeah, thanks. And like I said, I I just want us to use these funds to increase food production capacity.
Right.
I have tried to invite other organizations, invite other aspects. I just wanted to be really, really clear about that, because I am a co-chair, and I think I've talked to actually all of you individually and said, "Do you have anything else you want to bring up?"
Yep.
Um, and in the group text. So I just wanted to, I guess, point that out, because I agree with you, Jess. I it does feel like, oh, well, if you're already getting this and this and this, but also, who else is coming to the table with ideas?
Right.
Who else is going to the meetings
So,
and doing the work? Um, and I just, who else wouldn't
S-
see opportunity on the table to make improvements to the community and not go for it?
yeah. Oh, hell
It's
yeah. I'm
directly
sorry.
related. No, I was just saying it was directly related to food production. And to me, it seems to
Exactly.
make so much more sense than just letting the funds go to things that aren't necessarily directed towards
Same.
our group.
Same.
And it supports the other two working groups too, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
the food access is doing food in Sulphur Springs. We have used SLP to pack the produce before at no charge to Homegrown Hillsborough. So the aggregated cold storage would allow that to expand and allow for easier potentially easier bag packing, things like that. And then of course, economic development, it is directly in line with their goal of increasing our production or capacity by 20%. So
Can I butt in a little
yeah,
bit here?
yeah,
Okay, so looking at your thing, your estimated is about $3,000 to fix the aqua or to add the stuff, the batteries to aquaponic. So that still leaves you another $6,000. So why don't we
yeah.
merge kind of like what Dee was saying? There's mini grants, so that's $3,000 for you. Then you still have $6,000. So you can do two other smaller mini grants and say $3,000 for infrastructure. So
Mhm.
if somebody else needs to buy a refrigerator or they want to buy sorry, refrigerator is just top of the mind because we were just talking about
Yeah.
it. But like if they
But
want to
yeah,
buy what the stuff Dee was saying, we could also do another class like that wash and pack station. We can do a class of, I don't know how much a wash and pack station costs. I can't imagine it's crazy, but correct me if I'm wrong, but we could do a class for 5 people and everyone gets $2,000 to build a wash and pack station at their farm or garden. And
Mm.
then everybody learns how to do it correctly. You have a station or you have money to buy the rest of the tools. Like if everybody builds the table together and then everybody needs money to buy a sink, or I don't know exactly what goes into
yeah.
washing and packing. That's what I imagine. So like something like that would be another way that you can use the money where it's benefiting everyone, and you can also do it that way. Does stuff like that? Like we could do a class
I
like
think that's a great point that there's still going to be leftover funds.
yeah,
I do
there's still
think
money.
that current budget that's on there is low because I think like we've talked about Savannah. In the meantime, battery prices have
Yeah, they
Mhm.
gone
changed.
up
Yeah.
by $200 a piece, which is why this has also been sort of a difficult process for me in like the waiting. Is that in the meantime it's gotten to the point that it's no longer within our budget
Mm-hmm.
to do on our own if these things don't go through. That's not to say I'm not exploring other funding options and things like that. But yeah, so that's not the final budget, but I do think there's also money left over at the end. I don't think that that's a $9,000 project.
Right.
Right.
And I think having like an infrastructure question is, or like so going like what you said, like with Dee's idea is we could potentially offer like a mini grant for capacity building, but infrastructure based,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think that's
you
kind of
know?
what she was talking about. It's just, language
I don't
of
think the
which
website though
yeah.
would really
Language.
Okay, a website.
count.
But like that is a digital infrastructure, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
I
not
kind of
and
mean
that's
physical.
valuable to
It's
people. Okay, so you want to
Yeah, I
limit
just
it to
think with food
physical infrastructure.
production, I think
Well, if you
physical
don't have anyone to
infrastructure
sell your food
is
to and you're producing food and you want to give people your food, you need a website or something or some digital,
Mhm.
I don't know. I could see both ends of the argument of
I
I
think
do
for
what's
me, it's
too.
just we already
yeah.
are doing the
Right,
marketing
like
and
marketing, yeah.
like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? We're already
Yeah,
doing
yeah, I
that
get you.
with
Okay.
Janae. And so
Yeah.
I don't want to devote our entire funds to a marketing kind of focus
Gotcha.
when we're working with farmers, right? Or food
Hmm.
producers, right?
Right.
That's how I feel. But
Okay.
I see both sides too, and you're right. I love Savannah's, I mean, idea
Yeah, I do
about,
too.
yeah, the
I
wash and
think it'd be
pack.
great to find out what other organizations would need to increase, production or things along those lines. I know, yeah.
Even you could look at community gardens might be interested in it so that people who are harvesting their food don't have to take it. I don't know what people do at shared community gardens. I've only grown food at my own like space.
Yeah.
So like maybe even the community gardens might want like a wash and pack
Mm,
station.
They
Um
they might. I do think they have
uh,
like a lot of support at times
okay.
and they don't tend to, as far as I see, put the food out there as much. It's more of a like shared space that everyone kind of is there at different times. Um, but I
Yeah,
know
but like it
personally
could
I
be
just
a
like to see.
beneficial just to
Yeah.
have it for whoever wants to use it when they're there and something like that. I'm just trying to think
yeah,
of 5 places who need a wash and pack, and I can think of 3 or 4. And I don't
yeah.
even know if
Yeah.
they actually need it or if you guys already kind of do it with what you've got. So
Yeah.
just trying to think of more people who could use it.
Yeah, I mean, SLB, we could, right? I think everywhere could always use more infrastructure. So, like,
Yeah,
if you ask me, I'd be like, for sure, we could also use, you know, if we have a 2 compartment sink. We really need a 3 compartment to get
yeah.
our limited poultry license, things like
Mm,
that. So we have
gotcha.
lots of hurdles, as well that we could use to do that. I think it's just that in some of the discussions with food access and like community gardens, they've said that they are not production gardens. And so that's
Hmm.
all I was kind of looking at is like
Gotcha.
the sort of back and forth of like
Hmm.
who is a food producer and then how is that benefiting the community at large and not just a small group of people. Um, but go ahead, sorry.
I have a super quick, just clarifying question. So with this plan that we sort of just talked about, would it be like the entire remaining funds would be used for mini grants that are infrastructure related, or would it be that we're going with funding the batteries for the aquaponics and what's left after that goes into mini grants? The second one?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Second.
It's kind of
Just
up to you
just
guys, yeah.
clarifying. Okay,
Okay.
I just was wondering what you guys were
And then
intending.
Savannah, if you're saying that we do have a little bit more time, that we really just have to have these funds bookmarked, then could we put an ask out on the platform
For what?
for what people would like to see those mini grants do in food production?
Mm. Um,
Or I'm just trying to figure out a way of like,
yeah.
or we could just do the infrastructure. Sorry. I
No,
think
it's okay. I'm just thinking. I don't because this is like a different. It's a. I just don't know right off the top of my head like what because I think like I don't know. I think that would be okay, like just to put on the platform and see what people need and ask what they're looking for, like if they need infrastructure, like what do producers need. Um, but I still would suggest even same thing, pick up the phone, call people, see what they need, and because not everyone's on the platform the way that I'm on the platform,
yeah,
or
yeah.
some of you guys, we appreciate that you're using it well, but not everyone is, and so we still want to reach them. We do want to encourage them to use it still, but just relying on the platform unfortunately doesn't always give us the answers we're looking for from producers. So
Yeah, I know producers
yeah,
especially are really difficult to get on the platform.
yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
I have also personally like I have sat down with Travis. I tried to get Travis to also be a part of this group. Um,
Thanks for trying.
and yeah, and in that sort of pitch was like, hey, well, what do you need? You know what I mean?
Right.
Things
Yeah,
like that. So yeah, I guess that's I'm just trying to think of how we can find, I guess, those answers of
gotcha.
that. Which
Right.
which maybe that's Dee's idea is an application process. But also like you said, we have seen low applications when we do that process. So I just want,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing it up for discussion. I'm not necessarily arguing for or against. I'm just kind of bringing up like, here's all the things, and
Hmm.
then leaving it open. Like, you guys tell me, oh, we don't care if it's low applications, or yeah, whatever you want that to look like. We could also see about using the rest of those funds as a stipend for getting
Other aquaponics systems started.
Yeah, that was another thing I was thinking too. Is like, who else wants aquaponics?
Well,
yeah.
only because we have the base right
Right.
now. So how can we not only utilize what's coming out of that base, but expand that base? So let's just concentrate on that entire budget funds to really solidify the base, and then the rest to do grants within that same concept to expand the aquaponics to other producers.
Yeah, if that's what they want, or hydroponics,
Right,
or
right. Or hydroponics. Either way, it's all water based. And the difference is whether you're going to use the fish, or you're going to use
Hmm.
other means, you
yeah,
know.
Exactly.
exactly.
So, but I think we can just say, let's go with it and let's get it done.
Yeah.
And if we keep it in that whole nutshell, I think we'll be able to meet our deadline for the budget and move forward.
Agreed.
So, sorry, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
I just said agreed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That makes perfect sense.
I think that we had said that we would have a potential second meeting
Yep,
before the 25th. Is that correct?
that is correct.
What was the
I
day
think it
that
was
we
the
said?
17th.
Yes.
Okay,
So
cool. So I just want to make sure that I have clear deliverables, I guess, for the 17th. And so that we know also like what we want to discuss during that meeting. So
What
I would
time did we
say,
have for that? Sorry,
I think it
let
was
me
the
look.
same.
the same 10:30 to 11:30?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, 10:30 to 11:30.
Okay. Oops.
I will
So
be on a plane, but if you need to vote, I'm
Yeah,
in.
and Georgia, whatever you need from me to help you get that deadline done,
I just want to make
you
sure
can
that
count
like
on me.
I think we
You,
scheduled this as like a discussion. So what I can do is I can have what I'm doing for economic development, which is an itemized budget and proposal written out. I can try to get that to you guys. The budget would be the hardest part for me to make sure that I have it to you to review, and then we can make that meeting. I think the goal was for it to be similar to this, a secondary last minute discussion,
Mhm.
and finalizing that, and well, not finalizing, but any last minute things that we want to do before we finalize the budget
Mhm.
on the 24th or whatever the next one, the 25th.
25th,
Is
yeah.
that correct? I just want to make sure, like, I don't know. I like to be prepared and make sure I'm coming to the meeting with like the right things in mind. So that's what I can do is my deliverables can be a budget and proposal for the rest of that system. And then maybe what would we like to do to get further on the mini grants? Is there anything or it doesn't have to be an entire hour meeting on the 17th. I think it was just sort of an open opportunity for discussion.
And I can get clarification, make sure we have a thumbs up on mini grants,
Okay.
just to make sure, because I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure. I think that would make sense, but also I don't know if
Okay.
I'm not the final word, so yeah.
And written or review and questions. What about Val? I know you had concerns about sort of like an MOU or how we were going to make sure that this is um benefiting like the larger community. So if we wanted
yeah,
to I can write a proposed MOU as well, I guess, that we can
exactly.
look at.
Because you've already made the statement. It's not like you don't have it. You just have to put it in writing. That's all.
Yeah. All right.
And you've always had the idea all along. And
Mhm.
and we're not really questioning you or your intent. We're just more looking
No.
out for you. So
Mhm.
And that's
it's
due
easy. You can,
diligence.
yeah, you can do it. I know you can do it. You've got
No,
it all.
I just want to have my due diligence so that I know what I need to show up with on the 17th,
Yeah,
um,
MOU.
to keep everything moving. And then once we hear back from
Yeah,
Savannah on mini grant approval, um, and then I think if that sounds good to everybody, it's time to rate the meeting.
All right,
okay.
let me.
Sorry,
Sounds
we're
good.
really, I get distracted by time, so I really try to watch the clock as close as I can.
All right. So for this meeting, um, for participation, how would you rate us 1 through 5? Jess,
5.
Georgia,
Um, 5.
Val,
5.
and Lauren.
5.
Okay, and achievement, what did we accomplish during our meeting? Jess.
I think it was really great. I'm gonna say 4, but whatever.
Yeah. Always room for improvement. Georgia.
I think 5. But I would
Yeah.
change my participation down to 4.
Mm.
All right.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. No problem.
I would say 5 because we are moving forward. We're
Mm.
not stagnant.
Sweet. All right, Lauren.
I think a 5 because I'm just happy with that we've made progress too. It's great.
Good. All right. And for listening, where people focused and mindful, Jess,
Yes, 5.
Georgia,
Same. 5.
5.
and Lauren.
5.
Sweet. And last one, scheduling. Did we stick to our agenda and use our time wisely?
Yes.
Yep, 5.
Georgia,
Yeah, 5.
Beth,
5.
great, and Lauren.
5.
Awesome. And Lauren, before we get off, did you get the
Yeah,
email for your continuing education? I just want to make sure.
I did. Yes, I did.
Sweet.
I did. And
Okay.
I picked my group and everything, and I'm starting at 1:00. So yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Okay, great. Just want
Yeah,
to make sure.
we're
Yes. So we have two people doing their continuing education this month. So good job, guys. Jess and Lauren both used some of our continuing education funding. So yay. There's still
Yay.
a little bit if anyone has a
I
smaller.
keep looking. I didn't think about digital ones, so I'm going to look for some digital ones
All right.
because that was something I never had considered previously.
Yeah, I think there's about $200 to $300 left for your working group. So nothing too
Cool.
crazy this round, but if the other working groups leave more open, then it'll be open again. So there'll be more. You can apply for whatever's left. So if it's a little more, July 31st.
July 31st. Okay.
Yeah. So cool.
Awesome.
Terrific.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take
Sorry
care.
for the
Y'all
tardiness
have a
on the
great,
All good.
have a great